2 topics left. One we can hit fast. One I really do want to hear everybody's thoughts on. I feel like the long-term relationship shit is not the same as marriage. I feel like somebody's sending shots. Somebody sending shots. Like I don't know who wrote that up there or how it's relevant.
I wonder who wrote.
Oh. Well, I was thinking first of all, I was thinking
Can't trust nobody. Not even the person you sleep with.
Ooh. Maybe you should sleep with them more.
Oh.
Well, wait, no, I was piggybacking off of Jules. She was talking about wills. And that reminded me of a conversation that I actually had with Mark on the last pod. You were there. And I was explaining to Mark, I'm like, yo, we really would like for you to be on. I said, because the dynamic for the black couples on there, I said, Joe and I are a long-term relationship. You guys are newer. I said, and then you guys are a married couple. Like, I would love for that dynamic as a black couple to be on there, you know, just have a conversation.
How long?
And he was like,
how long ago?
It's about to be 6 years in July.
Got it.
So he
On
said,
and off.
I don't like that one.
Oh, sorry.
I
was joking.
I
I was joking
he
anyway.
always does them type of jokes and then it causes tension. Like, stop doing that.
It's
Sometimes-
a joke.
No. Sometimes you could just be in love and shit is cool. You ain't always gotta have that kind of joke when it comes to us.
If you in love and it's cool, then you could joke.
Or no. Or you could just not and just be in
All right, girl.
love.
Go ahead, girl.
Anywho.
Okay,
so.
Surprise
Mark
trigger.
was like, it's not a surprise.
Secret trigger.
It's not a surprise. Mark said, you guys are basically married anyway. And I said, no. I said, long-term relationship is not the same as being married. I said, that's not the same. And when Jules brought up the will conversation, I said, and Ian, we were talking at the board, we were like, hey, when you're married, your will changes. Certain things, this is a completely different conversation. I'm like, if something happened to either one of us today, that's just it. Like, man, like, all right, well, love you. We loved and it was great and that was just it. Yeah. There is something more with marriage besides that, quote unquote, oh, what do we need a paper for? No, it's like, my mom right now, if I were to die, she would be who is, takes care of everything for me. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she would be like, hey, Joe, like, speak to him about things. But in the end, that's my mom's responsibility. Or if it was like, hey, take her life support, no support, that's my mom. Mm-hmm. Even though I spent 6 years of my life with this person, in the end, it still would not matter. So there is a big difference there.
That is true.
And you have to, it's a big thing. So I was like, yeah, no, it's not the same. It sounds and say, yeah, it's cool, we've been together all this time, but
No,
It's not.
let me ask
It's a
you a
real
question.
thing. That's a real thing.
Can I ask you a question? Because I know Joe's been doing like estate planning and stuff. If he included you in the will, however, without the marriage though, does that change your thoughts on that?
not the actual marriage part, but I mean, that would be just a different conversation. I think
The part that's
including
confusing to me is if everyone's making pretty good money, you should get married.
So time out. I think
That,
should get what?
the medical part of it. Like,
Parks has been
Parts
telling
is so pro-marriage.
I disagree with just getting married.
Please.
If you're with someone that you love and you are like in a long-term, I want to be with you for life situation, and you're just not doing it because you're like fighting the system or I don't believe in marriage, and you make money, you're just being, it's back to the tucking your principles for no, like tuck your principles.
but medically, what about forget about money, right?
Sure.
Forget about money. Medically, she can't make a decision for him because they're not married. He can't make a decision for her. That's more so what
But
she
he can
was
write
talking
that.
about, I thought.
But
He can
yeah,
write that
No?
though. He
Is
can
that
write
not?
that. He can write that.
You have to have you have to have an actual medical will, or I forget exactly what the right
There's
term
a
is.
big percentage of situations where before marriage, those conversations and signatures are not made until there is a marriage.
Can I
So it's, yes, I agree with what you're saying, where like you said, hey, if that were, I couldn't make that decision. And I think sometimes, like even with me, my mom, she's gonna assume certain things about me in the end conversations or whatever. She's gonna assume, hey, my daughter would want it to be done this way. But he would probably know me better because he knows me on a different, intimate, closer level than my mother ever could. It's not the same.